And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the Nellis Air Force Base Honor Guard in attendance, displaying the colors, please rise for the national anthems. First of all, the Mexican national anthem to be performed by Mr. Pedro Fernandez.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciña, oh patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la paz del arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios se escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso, patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiemble en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiemble en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. ¡Viva México!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States of America to be performed by Mr. John Cicada.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets make glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Arum and Top Rank Incorporated and Don King Productions, in association with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, and Caesar's Palace, present 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Executive Director Mark Ratner. Physicians in attendance at ringside, Dr. Flip Romansky, Dr. James Wishgame, Dr. Al Capana, and Dr. Robert Hoy. Your timekeepers at the bell are James Cavan and Mike Lechella. This bout is also sanctioned by the World Boxing Council. President at ringside, Jose Suleiman. Supervisor in attendance for the WBC, Eduardo Lamanzon. The three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Anik Hong Kong Cam, Larry O'Connell, and Daniel Van Devere. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, your referee, Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the site where legends are made, Caesar's Palace of Las Vegas, Nevada, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the multicolored trunks and weighing in at 139 pounds, a young man who captured Olympic gold in 1992 and now has a perfect professional record of 21 victories without a loss, 19 knockouts, and he has won 3 world title belts. Tonight, he goes for world title number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, from East Los Angeles, California, presenting the challenger, 3-time world champion and reigning WBO lightweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, also weighing in at exactly 139 pounds, wearing white trimmed with blue and red. He brings a professional record into the ring of 97 victories, 79 knockouts with only 1 loss and 1 draw. One of the finest in the history of boxing. In that record, he has won 5 world title bouts and is considered by many as one of the greatest fighters of the last half-century. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, con Culiacan, Mexico, presenting the 5-time world champion and reigning WBC super lightweight champion of the world, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Oscar. Okay, Julio, Oscar, that you lead that record en el camerino. I gave you the fights in the dressing room. I won a good, clean fight, que una pelea limpia. Dese la mano, Dios los bendiga a los dos.
Jim, this is youth, talent, ambition against experience, will, and pride. A fight that may be as simple as power and speed of youth, or as complicated as the will of a great warrior.
Both fighters sparred upwards of 300 rounds at altitude in preparation for this. De La Hoya says he's in the best shape of his life. Chavez says he's in the best shape since March 17, 1990, his dramatic comeback win over Meldrick Taylor. First punch of the fight is a De La Hoya jab. Cautious start for De La Hoya, who seems anxious to see what Chavez wants to do. If Oscar sticks with the jab, George, the challenge for Julio will be to get inside it somehow.
That's right. Not only should Oscar establish the dominancy of his jab, but do not allow Chavez to hit him with one jab.
In other words, take away Chavez's jab at the same time that he's establishing his own.
That's right. Don't allow him to think that he
Already
can jab
there is
you
a
at all.
cut alongside the left eye of Chavez. It looks like a scrape. Not dangerous, but it's very early in the fight for blood to be showing.
It came from the one right cross that De La Hoya landed, and now more blood as De La Hoya again lands with the right. And Chavez is already starting to flow above the left eye. And De La Hoya is landing that right hand, George.
This is a veteran. He didn't come here tonight to lose the fight in one round. Oscar, stick to plans. If the jab open up the cut, stick with the jab.
It may be a more dangerous cut than I first thought.
Chavez was cut over the same eye in the first round of his tough decision victory over David Kamau. And now Joe Cortez stops because he wants a doctor to take a look at the cut. Round one. And this blood started flowing less than a minute into the fight.
That cut was open in training. You can believe that.
Hard to imagine that one right hand could have done that much damage, but it came after De La Hoya landed his first right cross.
Yeah, it was a big cover-up.
And Chavez suddenly has more purpose. I think he realizes that this fight could be stopped sooner or later by cuts. He's going to try to engage De La Hoya right here.
That, of course, has never happened to Julio Cesar Chavez in 99 previous recorded bouts.
No, he did have a cut, if you recall, in his second fight with Frankie Randall, Jim.
Yes, but you're suggesting the fight could be stopped, Larry, and that fight was stopped because of an unintentional headbutt cut. This one was caused by a punch.
You're right.
Round one has been like Christmas for Oscar De La Hoya.
There's already desperation in Chavez.
As we go to two Spanish-speaking corners tonight, our interpreter is Hector Garcia.
Are you okay, Julio? Stay calm.
La herida está cabrona, ¿eh?
The cut is pretty deep. We're going to have to play it by ear.
Quieto ahí.
I think that cut is pretty bad.
Dame la toalla. Quieto ahí. Ahora mismo no está sangrando. Dame la
It's
toalla.
not bleeding now. Just give me the towel.
Quieto. Ahora mismo no. Vamos a ver si te lo controlo, Julio, por favor.
De La Hoya threw 52 punches by punch stat count in round one. Chavez only 18. How does the cut change Julio's strategy, George?
Well, he didn't intend to be so aggressive this early. Chavez did not. Now he's having to put on some aggression to keep Oscar at bay. And this just isn't the kind of strategy he wanted. He wanted to play his cool for the first 3 or 4 rounds.
For De La Hoya, just stick with the jab and the plan, right?
That's right. De La Hoya starts trying to open up this cut with too many right hands. The fight goes into the 4th round. Chavez gets renewed strength and courage, and he can change everything. Keep your cool, keep jabbing.
De La Hoya is still picking his shots here in the first minute of round number 2. So far, the blood not flowing again on Chavez's left eye.
It has started again, Jim.
Okay. It has indeed. And De La Hoya lands another right hand, and now the blood really begins to flow. Left hook, best punch of the bout so far for Chavez. De La Hoya going to the body with the left hook as Chavez stepped in there.
De La Hoya is starting to bring his chin down just a little lower. This works for Chavez because he's been missing with that left hook because of the height differential. Get your chin down and throw that hook. It's a different thing.
De La Hoya landing 2 short left hooks in there. Chavez came back with a counter right.
Chavez's fans already trying to rally him, chanting Mexico, Mexico, Mexico.
But the crowd is more subdued at this moment than we might have expected. Certainly the overwhelming majority here rooting for Chavez, and many of them silenced by the visible flow of blood.
Ho! Let's go.
De La Hoya has allowed Chavez to relax a little bit. He shouldn't have allowed him that relaxation, because he starts to think and realize, hey, I am the master of this ring. I've been around a long time. You got to stay on him, do something at all times. De La Hoya has to.
Yet in 2 rounds so far, George, Chavez has been unable to engage, get close to De La Hoya, and do any kind of damage.
But that's the way he fights. He's never won the fight for 1 or 2 rounds. He gets closer and closer, and he starts to take over. Now, if he can just remember that and don't do nothing strange.
Julio.
Tranquilo, que no pasa nada, no tuvo
We're going back to round 1 to show you the punches that opened the cut on the left eye of Chavez. And that was a left jab to the left eye of Chavez. Normally you would expect a right hand to open a cut there, but this was a crisp left jab to the eye.
Entirely correct, and the right hand that I have talked about came after that, so it landed and caused the cut even earlier than might have first appeared to be the case.
Segundo afuera. Seconds out.
Statistically, through the first couple of rounds, De La Hoya throwing more than twice as many punches as Chavez. And you can see that Harold Letterman has given the first 2 rounds to the 23-year-old challenger.
Oscar De La Hoya is starting to land jabs to the stomach. That's very important if you're fighting a puncher, to take his power away from him in case the fight goes longer than 5 or 6 rounds.
But it's also going to bring his chin down into Chavez's punching range, isn't it?
No, De La Hoya is landing the left jab to the body, which means Chavez's power will start to diminish as the fight goes on. De La Hoya is starting to lean down a little too much, and that's dangerous for him.
One thing Chavez has not done, he has always worn down his opponents, George, by punching to the body. I don't believe in 2 rounds plus that he's landed a body punch yet.
Let's go.
That's because of that early cut. Sometimes you get a little hesitant. Chavez has got to realize it's going to happen close. It's not going to, anything is going to happen from the outside. You got to get close.
They stay out for the time being in De La Hoya's punching range. And he continues to control Chavez with the jab and with body punches.
And Chavez going backwards more than we've ordinarily seen him go backwards.
For good reasons. Oscar De La Hoya has a jab like an ordinary right hand by the average fighter. That jab hurts you. It makes you want to stay away.
Hard left hand to the body by De La Hoya as Chavez came in close. Then De La Hoya backs up to try to find punching range again.
Hey, come on, give me a clean round. Give me a clean round, you hear? Let's go. Let's go.
That's an old Willie Pep move there.
Hard counter left inside there by De La Hoya as Chavez was stepping in. Oscar lands the uppercut and a right hand. He is finding the range and tattooing Chavez around the eyes.
But Chavez was able to get a little closer that time. Although he's missing from outside, he was able to get a little closer.
He's going to have to take a lot of leather to get in close, George, unless he can find a better formula.
And he should have included that on the cost of the house when he took this bout. You're going to have to take some and give some too. Take a lot and give some.
De La Hoya getting just a little bit more aggressive now as the clock winds down in the 3rd. Chavez, for the moment, seems without a clear plan as to how to get inside of De La Hoya's jab.
Good left hook by Chavez. It was right on top of the brow.
But so far, Chavez has looked his age.
Say, Flip, did you take that cut? Did you take that cut?
Con upper izquierdo, lo recibes con upper izquierdo.
You have to use the left hand.
Dale otra derecha.
Use your right hand also.
Ya se empezó a tragar las pintas más.
He swallowed.
Okay?
Okay, Paco, let me see. Yeah, no problem. It's no problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Échale ganas. Julio, no tienes problema. No tienes problema. Nomás eso, lo mismo que tenías que no tienes.
Just keep doing exactly the same thing you were doing when you first started.
Me cago en Dios. Son todos tus 5 sentidos. Tú eres abusado que ese tipo. Vamos a darle ahí, pelea. Vamos con todo. Vamos, second out, let's go. Arriba, vamos a comerle por dentro.
Round 4 begins. Oscar De La Hoya to this moment throwing 30 jabs per round. And now Chavez seems to believe he has no more time to waste.
And he's starting to look like he's 23 years old. Whenever he throws more than 3 punches, he looks young.
Chavez getting in a left hook in close. And he brings the crowd out of their seats as he tries to mount the attack in the first minute of round 4.
And in that exchange, Jim, De La Hoya landed a nice left hand on the jaw. It didn't phase Chavez.
Well, we know what a great chin the Warrior has. Julio Cesar Chavez down only once in 99 previous bouts. And that was from an accumulation of punishment against Frankie Randall.
Oscar's a good fighter, but he hasn't concentrated on winning a fight on points in years. This could be a deficit for him because he's been getting knockouts, looking for knockouts. Now you're in a fight where you may have to build up some points in case you don't get this knockout.
He did score a tough decision victory over John Molina early in 1995. When others say Oscar hasn't been pressured or roughed up in the ring, his supporters point to that fight and say, oh, yes, he has.
And we may have some judges tonight who may like the aggression of Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, but he's not being the aggressor.
Hard left hook by Chavez.
That is the third good left hook that Chavez has landed.
All to the chin.
All because Oscar De La Hoya stands and wait for him to do something if he's not jabbing. You can't stand and wait. You got to do something.
But Chavez, at the same time that he's mounting his best attack of the fight, continues to paw at his left eye, trying to keep the blood from hampering his vision. De La Hoya much more tentative now here in round 4, having tasted some of Chavez's power. Good short left hook by De La Hoya, and he comes back with a right hand. And the blood bothering Julio as De La Hoya lands a vicious left hook. Now his nose is bleeding too.
De La Hoya is starting to be himself now. Forget about all of that strategy and the new guy in your corner. Get out there and be yourself.
Brutal left hook to the body by De La Hoya. Chavez's will seeming to be sapped now, as in the last minute of round 4, it's been all Oscar De La Hoya.
Now De La Hoya goes back to the stomach, which is ideal for a youngster. I can't believe it.
And Cortez takes Chavez to flip Pomansky.
Stay in our corner. Stay in our corner. That's it.
He's calling the fight.
That's it.
The fight is over.
Nothing, George, do they call him the Golden Boy. The combination of a skillful performance, maybe just a little bit of good fortune. Chavez's bloody mask at the end, simply too grotesque for Pomansky to allow the fight to continue.
But guys, the old guy was never in this fight because the young guy didn't let him get in there. He maintained his poise. He used his own strengths. This kid is like a debutante with a knife in her purse. He looks like the Golden Boy, but he's got some iron and lead in those gloves.
And if anyone was looking for the answer in round 4, when Chavez mounted his fiercest attack of the fight, De La Hoya starched him with a left hook, turned matters around, and dominated the last minute before the stoppage.
It reminded me of Clint Eastwood in The Unforgiven. He said, I've always been lucky at killing people. De La Hoya seems to be a little lucky at doing this stuff.
When you're both good and lucky, that's a heck of a tough combination to beat.
Well, let's throw away luck. He was good.
George, he was terrific tonight. He put the right hand with the jab and then brought the left hook. And that, in the end, was the difference. Let's take a look at this flurry toward the end of the bout. Jab, right cross, left hook again, right cross across the top of the head, left hook again, a short right. Not all of those punches landing flush, but all of them stopping Chavez from being able to mount any kind of attack.
And that's what Oscar De La Hoya, my only worry was for him, that he would not be himself and do what he normally does best.
In the end, he simply smothered Chavez with speed and power.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Cortez calls a halt to the bout. Dr. Flip Homansky has ruled that the former champion Julio Cesar Chavez was unable to continue because of severe lacerations to the eyes. The winner by technical knockout, winning his 4th world title belt and new WBC super lightweight champion